Before we jump into the video, don't forget to follow the Football Bank on Instagram and have notifications for stories turned on to get live tips straight to your phone. It's very important to have notifications turned on because I do post in-play bets to the story and you want to make sure that you can jump on those at the right time. Follow the Football Bank on Instagram. Guys, welcome back to the Football Betting Tips and Strategies series. It's good to see you guys again. In the last video, we looked at in-game factors that we look at when analyzing the both teams to score market, but in this video we're going to look at when we actually enter the market. If you haven't seen parts 2 and 3 of the both teams to score mini series, I do recommend watching those as it will give you some insights as to why we're going to enter the market at the time that we do, especially in part 3 where I look at the in-game stats that I look for, especially in the first 15 minutes of the game, and that gives me an indication of whether I'm going to go for a game or not. Now, if you place a both teams to score bet on pre-game, then the odds that you'll usually get for a good game are between 1.45 and 1.8. Those are in the range of 1.8 to 2.1. The bookmakers already obviously think that it's going to be a game that won't have both teams to score. So, you know, our analysis should, for this market, generally align to the bookmakers. So the games that we do want to target are those in the 1.45 to 1.8 range. The problem is, I just don't think that those odds are good enough, especially for a pre-match bet when we haven't even had a chance to see how the teams are going to play. After 15 minutes, however, not only do you have better information on how the teams are actually playing, you know, are they playing with a high press, high defensive line, an open game, like we spoke about in part 3, but the odds for both teams to score on one of those nicer games will have jumped up to between 1.8 and 2.1. So you do your pre-match analysis, you confirm it, and then you wait 15 minutes, confirming that the in-game factors are also good, and then you enter the market in that sweet spot of between 1.8 and 2.1. And you could say, well, you're not looking at the full 90 minutes, so of course the odds are going to be higher. But on the screen here, I've got the distribution of goals last season in the major European leagues, and across these leagues between 12 to 15% of the total goals scored are scored in the first 15 minutes, even though that represents 17% of total playing time. Now, you have to be careful with particular teams that do like to come out firing early, but you can also check on an individual team's distribution of goals in the same way on the Who Scored website. So you tell me, is it better to place the bet pre-game at odds of 1.5 with no idea of how the teams are actually going to play unless you know someone in the coaching team or know the coach's son? Or you can wait 15 minutes, get an idea of how the teams are playing, how open the game is, and place the bet at odds of 1.8 or 1.9. And you will miss some wins with this approach, there's no doubt about that. Your pre-match analysis could indicate a high chance of both teams to score in a given game, and then you wait to watch the game and see how the teams are playing, and then one of the teams scores within 10 minutes. It's frustrating, it happens, trust me, I know, but you just move on. There are so many other games on in a weekend, and that's something that I'll cover in more detail on my next video on selective betting. So it's a very short video just about entering the market. I think most of the juice or the meat of the topic is in part 2 and part 3, but just something to round off this mini series. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. Probably be my last video of 2022, and I really appreciate the support and how much the channel has grown this year. I remember when I started, it was just kind of friends and family watching, and now, you know, we're almost at 3,000 subscribers. So for me, that's just insane. And I will ask, you know, I know almost every video asks you to like and subscribe, but you know, it really does help the small channels like this to grow and help get visibility within YouTube. So, you know, one day I do hope to be doing this full time. So if you could drop a like, it really does help the channel to grow. And thanks guys for the support. Until next time, goodbye.